Hi, guys. Welcome to All Bases Covered. I'm your host, Mackenzie Alexander, and I am so excited for today's episode. We have quite a big deal coming on the show. William Schmidt goes to Catholic High School in Baton Rouge, four-star LSU commit, has RHP, and he's ranked number 2 in PBR, has literally RHP of 92 to 94 miles per hour fastball, and the kid is just insane. So we're super excited to have him on. The reason why I chose him today for the show is because, well, one, I go to LSU and I'm always involved in LSU baseball. And so I am so excited to have him on today. And Catholic has a lot of history, actually. Catholic has molded so many successful men like Josh Smith, Aaron Nola, who are now in the MLB. And so it's just a privilege to get to work with kids from there and just to work with the staff. Travis, Will's pitching coach, was just tremendous and helped so much, as well as Will's mom, Cindy. She was also so much help. And I just can't thank enough that, family and just community. So I'm super excited about that. And I just feel so blessed because this is obviously our first guest, and I couldn't think of someone better than someone like Will. So, if you guys have any questions, just, kind of start typing on whatever you want to do. But we're just super excited for this show. And, I just think that it's going to be a great episode. And if you're not familiar with the baseball world, PBR is Prep Baseball Report. And so just kind of all baseball things, and definitely a big baseball girl. Y'all know I want to be a sideline reporter for the MLB. So this is just a dream come true. And I'm just super excited. So I without further ado want to welcome William Schmidt. So hi.
What's
Will,
up?
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy you're on the show, and just so honored to have you on.
Yes, ma'am. I'm excited to be here.
All right, Will. So we talked yesterday, and you kind of told me a little about your journey and how going into your junior year, sophomore year, summer, you didn't even know if you wanted to play college ball. Can you kind of walk me through what changed?
Right. So I was a late bloomer coming into freshman year. I didn't even know if I would make the high school team I was trying to make, so I considered going to somewhere else but Catholic. But I pushed through it, did the work. I made the team, and I played a good freshman year. And after freshman year, I grew pretty much a foot. And with that, I mean, it's a lot of work, a lot of aches and pains, but push through it and, just put in the work. And this is where I am today.
When it comes to obviously the growth, and we talked about part of the growth was being in the weight room, the reps, having the right people. I mean, you obviously have Ty as your pitching coach, which he's helped you so much from what you've told me and from what he has told me. Kind of walk me through what it was like with recruiting. Like, how did you even know LSU was the right place for you?
Right. So freshman year, I didn't even know if college baseball was an option. And then sophomore year, kind of got on the radar a little bit. I went to a few college camps, and I got a few offers, and I actually committed to Mississippi State to start off with. Um, and then a few coaching changes, and I decided to open up, and I found that LSU was the place for me.
Yeah, I talked to your mom, and she said Mississippi State was where you originally thought you were going to go. And obviously that changed once you started to just bloom as a player. Obviously you had a great game at the Perfect Game All-American Classic. I mean, you have a curveball that's elite level hammer with 3,000 spin rate. Was that a big event where a lot of people started to realize, okay, this kid is actually going to be something? And that was kind of the start of where it all started?
I wouldn't say it started there, but I will say that was a big part of it. At that event, it's the best people in the country. It's the best competition that I faced all summer. It'll be the best competition I face leading up to high school year. But there was so many scouts there. All the stands in the Diamondback Stadium were filled up to the brim, like behind the plate. and I would say it was definitely a lot of exposure.
What was it like? I mean, tell me about the atmosphere. What was your emotions? What was your feelings going into that event?
Uh, I was definitely nervous because like I've watched the games on TV the previous 3 years and had no idea that I would even have a shot at being in it. But I liked how it was an all-star game and they kept it in the all-star game atmosphere. It wasn't like very strict. It was a players game. It was super fun. And when you needed to compete, like you were able to go out there and do your best.
Obviously, baseball. Baseball is a business at the end of the day, and so obviously it is hard. Because you do know that when you fall back, sometimes someone is ready to be lined up and to take your spot and things like that. So knowing there was that much talent at those kind of events, what kept you grounded? Was it your faith? Was it just knowing that like if it's meant for you, it's going to happen? Like, can you kind of tell me what was your biggest, I guess, thing that kept you grounded?
A little bit of both. Like God's got a plan. He's gonna do what he wants you to do. And you just gotta trust in him. But it was just playing for yourself. Like I wasn't the big name growing up, and I had my chance to prove to everybody who I really was. So I took advantage of it.
What would be your advice to those maybe who are a little, underestimated and aren't really the talk of the town and, like that you feel like if someone would have told you, it would have helped you so much more when it comes to this process and like what is just your best piece of advice you would have for someone that is kind of wanting to be in the same position as you're in but doesn't know where to start?
Just don't give up. Keep knocking on a door until one opens. It's not gonna happen overnight, like it may for some people. So you just gotta put your head down and strive every day to be the best person that you can be.
Yeah, let's just I know we talked about growth from freshman year, but let's give, the audience a little more better look into what it was like freshman year because you've had like your story is insane. Freshman year, where did you start out? Did you even think you were going to make the team? Like kind of walk me through that.
So I'm 5'1", probably 105 pounds, soaking wet, and month before the tryout, leading up to it, I every single day I was just doing whatever I could to put myself in the best position. And the most stress with me and my parents was the day that they were sending out the emails for the final cut, and I got the email. We went to dinner. It was exciting. And I didn't play a lick of JV or varsity in my freshman year. I was on the freshman team. I had a good season. You know, it was fun. I had a good freshman summer, and then right after freshman summer is when I hit my growth spurt.
We talked about the summer circuit. That is what it's called,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You said that was probably the most mentally tough, one of the most mentally tough things. Why was that?
I slept in my bed for 3 days during this past summer. It's like you're on a professional team. You're not home much. You're always on a plane or you're always driving somewhere. Um, I went to Phoenix twice. I went to Cary twice. I went to Hoover twice. I went to Atlanta twice. And it was from May to September. I missed the first month of school, and I was super behind on all my schoolwork. My grades were not the best at the time, and it's definitely a toll on you.
We discussed being a student athlete is not easy. And, people who watch, they think it's just all about baseball and that's all it is. Being a student athlete, what is the biggest thing that's helped you with balance?
You gotta create good relationships with your teachers and your coaches. And at Catholic, our coaches definitely understand because most of them played college baseball, so they definitely understand um, like the like finding a good balance between the two. I got home from practice probably 45 minutes ago, and
Yeah, guys, Will
you
literally
there's
had
no
practice
time for
today.
homework.
So this is his
Right,
commitment. He made sure it was here.
right.
Yeah. I just when we were, talking yesterday, you had voiced to me that there was about 90 kids who tried out for the baseball team and only about what 20 made it, you said? What is the
16.
process like? 16, so even less. What was the process like, kind of just knowing that that was that competitive, and just like, I just feel like I'd be personally so overwhelmed. So what was, I guess, kind of your, I guess, perspective on that?
It was probably more stressful on my parents than it was on me. My
Yeah.
mom my mom and some other kids that were trying out, their parents, they had lists every night, and they'd go watch the tryout, and then they'd make their own cuts and make their own team, which I thought was super funny. But, it was stressful, a lot more than school normally is, but, I mean, it's fun. That's what baseball's about. It's about competing, it's about doing your best, it's about winning, and whoever helps the team win the most is probably the ones who should be on it.
Speaking of teammates, I mean, you have some great teammates on your team. Who are some of the people that you really feel like have just kind of helped you throughout this journey, and like, you couldn't do without?
There's a few seniors from previous years. One of them, Alex Ainsworth, who's at Tulane right now pitching. Last year I wasn't the top dog because I was still a junior, but he's the one who really took me under his wing and showed me how to do things right. Showed me what it's like to be a leader, how to go win baseball games, and also Trip Dobson because I was there with him at the freshman tryout, and that's been my guy on the team since.
Trip is committed to Houston, correct?
Right.
And obviously, I'm sure your other players on the team, y'all are all committed to different places. I mean, there's a few places that obviously a few of you will both be going to, but other than that, this is your last season all playing together. What has this season so far been like? I mean, I know it's only fall ball and y'all don't really start till like December, February, when y'all start like actually pitching and getting into it. But what is the biggest goal this season?
Uh, well, of course, state championship, but I would say that we need to cherish every moment because in 5 or 6 months it'll all be over. We'll all go off to our different places. So I say we don't take anything for granted, and of course, we want to bring the hardware back to Catholic.
Okay, so I just have to know. I mean, obviously, lots of reps and lots of help from coaches, but this kid has an average of 92 to 94 miles per hour with your fastball. How? What were some of the things you did? I mean, was it just consistent reps? I mean, I'm sure there's people that want to know, like, how can I do this? You're a high school senior. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is what Paul Skeens was pitching basically last season. Like, walk me through that.
Uh, you got to find your routine. You have to stay consistent. Find a coach who's going to get you a good throwing program. That's what I did. And I mean, I guess you'd have to try to be as tall as you can and go eat everything you see. You got to put on as much weight as you can. You have to get in the weight room. You have to have a schedule. You just got to be consistent with it.
Speaking of the nutrition side and like the sleep side, I feel like a lot of people underestimate how important that is, how important the right amount of sleep, the right, foods you eat, the pregame meals you eat, all those things. How important are those things actually?
They're huge. You're not going to get where you want to be being the super skinny, super small dude, which I know some can't control. But if you go look at Paul Skeens, I mean, that dude is a beast. He's 6'6", 200 something pounds. And sleep, I wouldn't say I get the most of it, but on the days that I pitch, are like if it's not during the high school season, I normally skip the first 2 periods of school just to catch up on some sleep.
So it exhausts you.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What are some ways that you try to beat the exhaustion? I mean, obviously catch up on sleep, but if it's like, you have to be at school that day, you can't catch up on sleep. What are some of the things, I guess, that help you that maybe most people don't realize?
You could try sleeping in class, but I won't suggest it. Uh, I don't know. On the weekends, I don't push it too hard. Maybe try to take a few naps, but just chill, relax, do whatever feels right for you. Go have some fun because life isn't always about baseball. It's what you do. It's not who you are. Some people may view it as a job, but I try my hardest just to view it as it's the game I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and it's just a game. Play it, go have fun.
What started your love for the game? I mean, did dad play? Did brother play? Like, can you tell me that?
Nope, my dad did not play. I'm an only child. I have no one else who's played. None of my uncles or cousins did. I was just a little athletic little boy running around playing soccer, football, basketball, anything sporty, and baseball is just the one that stuck out for me. I dropped all the other sports going into freshman year, and I just stuck with baseball because it was second nature to me.
How important has a game of baseball been? I mean, maybe not even just like sports wise, but just life wise. I mean, there's so many lessons you've learned throughout. Like, what has been the biggest lesson that you've learned from baseball that can apply to all aspects of life?
Uh, our coach has a saying that you won't leave the baseball field a better player than you are a person. And I take that like very seriously because your teammates shape who you are. And baseball is where you make your best friends. It's where you make the best memories. My best friends are the ones I've been playing baseball with since I was 6 years old, who are still on the Catholic team today. And I would say don't take summer baseball for granted whatsoever because I already miss it, although it was long. But I made some of the best memories that I'll hold for the rest of my life doing summer baseball.
What does your routine look like in summer baseball? I mean, obviously it's a little different from school. You don't have school in the summer, but it's like you still have like a full time job in a way.
Right. Some of the events you go to, they're weeks long. The PDP event was 10 days long. You get your roommate, and it is basically the same every day. I don't really remember what time we woke up, but it was the same every day. You go down, eat, get on the bus, and go to the field, and you're there till 5 or 6 o'clock, and you come back, shower, eat, and go to sleep. I guess it's in a way like just getting a view of how like the big leagues are.
Yeah. Speaking in preparation, going to Catholic, I've heard from many people and I've saw it myself. I actually got to go watch yesterday then practice, and I've gotten to cover Catholic before and see their school and all that. That place prepares you pretty well for college. I mean, it's
Yeah.
about the same. Being a student there, it really is like being a full time job. And
Right.
so And so I guess my question is, what is it like to know that you're playing at a school that has just molded so many successful people like Josh Smith and Aaron Nola, who, obviously Aaron's not going to the World Series, but he's still in the big leagues. But Josh Smith, he's going to the World Series. And that's a baseball player's dream to be in the big leagues and to go in the World Series. So what does it just, feel like to be able to be somewhere so special?
It's awesome. My parents blessed me with giving me the opportunity to go there. I was blessed to make the team. And although many students don't like the school's rules, don't like the dress codes, don't like the grooming violations, it's what's best for us, and it's what's going to help us out in the long run.
Who's somebody at Catholic that's really kind of helped you through school, baseball? I mean, besides, your pitching coach and your baseball coach, is there anybody at Catholic that's really helped you?
Uh, I'd say we got a new disciplinarian this year. Uh, he's super chill. He doesn't have favorites, so me and the eighth grader are treated equally when it comes to all the violations, and it puts it into perspective that you're not above everyone else just because you're so good at something you do.
Yeah. All right. Well, what is the biggest piece of advice you have for anyone going through the recruiting process? I mean, you're going to LSU, you go to Catholic, you've been through it all, I feel like at this point, in such a short period of time because it's all started, what, junior year?
Right.
I mean, how excited are you for LSU? I should ask.
I'm super excited. I
Who
mean,
are some
coming
of
off
the
the
people
national
at LSU that
championship, ma'am.
who are some of the people at LSU that kind of have made the process easier?
Uh, Definitely Coach Johnson and Coach Yeski, the new pitching coach. and Coach Jordan, all of them together. They made the recruiting process super easy, not stressful whatsoever. And I know a few freshmen there right now, and I asked them how the practices are, and they say nothing hard.
Nothing hard. Love it. All right, well, we so appreciate you being on, and man, this was a great interview, and I hope y'all enjoyed. You have any words to say, Will, before we go?
I would just say, don't give up. God's got a plan for you. Your time will come, and just get better every day.
Amen. Thank you, Will. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Of course.